In an industry stuffed with marketing bullshit, empty promises, and shiny-suited liars, one woman's had enough. She knows what it's like to have the wrong clients, no money, and no time for fun. But she also knows how to fix it. And on the Business for Superheroes show, she promises to tell the down and dirty truth about business, sales, and running away with the circus. Here's your host, Vicky Fraser.
Hello and welcome to the very cold Business for Superheroes show. I'm Vicky Fraser and this is Joe Fraser.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, very cold.
Very cold.
Why is it very cold, Vicky?
It's very cold, Joe, because I timed the arrival of the new heating oil almost perfectly.
Short by about 12 hours.
Short by about 12 hours, yes. The oil tank ran out of oil sometime in the middle of last night, didn't it?
Yes.
And then the oil tanker with the oil turned up about mid-morning.
Which is nice.
Which is nice.
And then what happened, Vicky?
And then I couldn't light the Rayburn.
Why is that, Vicky?
Because the Rayburn's stupid.
What did you have to do to light the Rayburn?
I had to strike a match.
Yes.
And stick it in an hole.
Open the little slidey holes for lighting.
I did not
poke a match in there.
I did not realise there were slidey holes. I was poking a match into a slot, which was an inch higher than the hole that I should have been poking it into. This is...
Wrong.
Let's not go there anymore.
So all day I've been getting at work Skype messages going, "Whoa, it's cold." Meh.
That's not true, is it?
And I've been Googling blocked fuel lines and how to unblock things and what could possibly have gone wrong with the thing and instructions for lighting it and all kinds of things.
I was on the Arga forum and I was worried that we had some kind... Anyway, it doesn't matter. The Rayburn is now lit because Joe came home and lit the Rayburn.
Took about 10 seconds from walking in the door to having the Rayburn lit.
Which, in kind of time-honoured, bloody-minded fashion, I'm now really irritated that the Rayburn is lit and it's going to be warm because, frankly, if it had stayed cold, my ineptitude would have been concealed. So anyway...
2 minutes in and all we've done is whinge about the Rayburn. There's a row in the room.
This room is so wet here today. It's Monday the 21st of November as we record this, and you drove home through floods and fog, didn't you?
Floods and fog at the same time.
And I decided that today would be a good day to resurrect my running activities, so I went running at lunchtime, and it was literally, I was no wetter. I couldn't have been wetter if I'd gone running with no clothes on, which I did not do. I was wearing clothes.
What?
As in, all of my clothes were soaking wet. As in, I was soaking wet underneath all of my clothes.
Right.
That made more sense in my head. That was
a really strange way to explain that. Normally you'd say, I couldn't have been wetter if I'd, got in the bath or something. That would have been a bit...
Well...
Anyway,
so
I'm feeling a bit bereft because the whole hostage thing has run out. We've done it.
It has.
I mean, I'm glad that it's over, finally. But what the hell do we do now?
Well, if anybody is wanting more of the hostage
Lord
negotiation
knows why you would.
series, you can go to businessforsuperheroes.com/hostage and...
So you did get that done?
Yeah, of course I did.
Well done.
I promised I would do it, and so it is done. I'm going to illustrate it at some point. So you can get the second edition at some point, guys.
Grab the rare first edition now.
Grab the rare, questionable quality first edition of the freebie hostage negotiation / how to persuade almost anybody to do almost anything guide from me, from businessforsuperheroes.com/hostage.
Hostage.
I'm not even drinking. I'm drinking orange juice.
It's not good. It's got gin in it.
It has not got gin in it, has it?
No.
Oh.
Should have.
So yeah, this is podcast 50.
50?
Joe.
Who'd have thought?
Can you believe we've done 50 of this ridiculous show?
I really didn't think we'd last it. I thought it was just an experiment.
Yeah, me too. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good fun.
It's because we put so much time and effort into the preparation.
I do put time and effort into the preparation.
Yeah.
How very dare you? The thing is, though, it comes out of my brain because I don't, I do prepare, and I am planning a separate podcast series that I'm going to start at some point that's going to be, it might not involve you now after that comment.
What? Oh, man.
But yeah.
Send Vicky emails saying that you won't listen to podcasts without me. Dear listener. Hi, Vegard.
They bloody will as well, you know. Vegard's going to be so upset when you don't turn up in Ireland in December. Anyway.
Too much on.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's episode 50. We've finished the hostage miniseries.
Thank God.
And I thought that today we would talk about direct mail.
I know, you can talk about it if you like. I'll just sit here.
You've got the right hump on today, haven't you?
It's cold in here.
So, I want to talk about direct mail because direct mail is awesome, and it's not used enough by most business owners, and B, because my inner circle at the moment have received a mini-series. It's mini-series-tastic here, of direct mail, basically from start to finish. So the ultimate guide to direct mail.
Cool.
From me.
So it's all fresh in your head.
It's all fresh in my head. But they've done all of that for the last few months, but it's culminating in it's like month 4, I think, at the moment.
Crikey.
So I've gone through from how to build a list, like right from the very beginning, how to build a list, all of the kind of stuff that you need to know, all the stuff you need to know about your target market, and then right through to how to write the thing. And this month coming up, December's issue is going to be all about the package itself.
Okay.
So not just you've kind of done all the groundwork, and it's not just you're writing a letter, it's the whole package. And that is kind of what I wanted to talk about today, because direct mail can be really good fun. And I get quite a lot of it, and there will have been one of my daily emails this week will have been a video. And I'm trying to do this weird tense, this future past tense, because by the time people listen to this, I'll have recorded the video and it will have gone out. So
right,
I don't even know how to do that.
So again, we're in that optimistic future past.
Future past, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, direct mail. I get a lot of direct mail.
Yeah.
Some of it's awful. A lot of it's awful. Some of it is great. Mm-hmm. And some of it comes from my inner circle guys, because they send it to me for critique.
Okay,
and
cool.
I had a fantastic little package from Jane in my inner circle.
Hi, Jane.
Hi, Jane. And she sent it to me to critique, and it came in a green envelope.
Good start.
It's down there. Yeah, coloured envelopes are ace. They're always going to get open because they always look like they're going to be good fun to
Don't look
read.
like a bill.
Don't look like a bill. It was hand addressed. Again, if you can possibly manage it, that's great. Obviously, if you're sending hundreds of them, that's a ridiculous waste of your time. You can use a handwriting font to do it. Mm-hmm. Or pay your children. That's what children are for.
Yeah, that is what children are for.
Yeah. So yeah, that was it. Arrived with a proper stamp on it as well, which is also really important. And inside was a little note to me asking me to critique the stuff that she'd sent, and a newsletter that she was sending out to all her clients. Mm-hmm. And she's a beautician, by the way, so she does kind of facials and massages and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah. And so she was talking about how to keep your skin healthy through the winter, because central heating does awful stuff to your skin.
You imagine those posh people out there with central heating.
And no gaps in their house.
Imagine what that must be like.
Drying their skin out.
Oh.
Flaky faces.
In the warm.
I know. Bastards. So that was what her newsletter was about, amongst other things, and her favourite product, all the rest of it. And in with it was a note for me, but, she would also put a handwritten note in for whoever she was sending it to. And a tea bag, an organic herbal tea bag, which I made and drank as I did the critique for her, and a face mask, which I put on and wore as I did the critique for her. I
thought you were looking particularly lovely this evening.
I did this last week. That's a complete fail.
Damn it.
And what else was there? I think it was like a moisturiser or something. But there was sample size things. Mm-hmm. So basically she stuffed stuff into this package and sent it to me.
We all know how you like small things.
I do like small things. So that was a really good idea. It's a really good example of how to put a little direct mail package together and make people feel good, because it wouldn't have cost her anything at all, really, other than the time and the printing and the postage. Mm-hmm. Because she sells beauty products anyway, she'll get an awful lot of samples from the products that she sells, and she just passes them around.
That's what they're for.
That is what they're for. So if you sell any kind of a product like that, then you should be sending out regular direct mail and putting little freebies in for people like that, because it's just really nice to receive.
Yeah.
Danny sent me a bunch of stuff.
Hi, Danny.
Hi, Danny. And he sent me a letter to critique along with a bunch of other things, including a really cool cartoon that he put together to explain some of the stuff that he was doing, which, by the way, is a great idea as well, because it's something a little bit different. Cartoons can explain in very few words quite complex ideas. Mm-hmm. So if you can nail that or get somebody to do it for you, then that's always a good thing to do. And in there also, he sent me a little tiny envelope. It was like business card sized, and inside it was his business card, and obviously that pleased me as well because it was a tiny thing. So he sent that through, which was a really good idea. He could have made it lumpy. I always advise that people make things lumpy if they can. Mm-hmm. And the way you can do that is the way that I do it. So whenever somebody buys my book or gets a free copy of my book, I won't just send them my book. I will also send them a bar of my branded chocolate. And nice. The call to action is to join my inner circle. And I send them a handwritten card to say thank you for buying my book because I do. That's what I do.
Why not?
And what else? Oh, when I sent out the invitations to my workshop, everyone in my inner circle got a little Lego superhero.
I remember those.
Yes, because we made them, didn't we?
Put them together on the coffee table.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is all the kind of stuff that you can do. Mo sends me stuff every now and then. Hi, Mo. I get all of my branded stuff from Mo. So he does my chocolate bars and my branded stuff that I put in my inner circle welcome packs. And he sends me stuff every now and then. So he sent me a mug, which is my favourite tea mug. There's just something about it that is just perfect. It's my tea mug that I have.
Go-to tea mug.
It's my go-to tea mug for first. It's my first 2 cups of tea of the day. It's very specific.
Very specific. Wow.
And when he sent his book out, he sent a bar of chocolate as well, because I am a trendsetter when it comes to doing stuff like that. And yeah, so I'm just kind of really chucking ideas out there for people.
Make it interesting, make it different, make it not look like a bill.
Yeah, make it lumpy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Make it lumpy.
But yeah, very few people use direct mail properly. Mm-hmm. Very few people, follow up regularly. They try it once, decide it doesn't work, and give up. And this is very stupid. Why is this stupid, Joe?
Because now might not be the time when they're ready to buy.
Yes.
They might be ready to buy next month when somebody's birthday is coming.
Yes.
And they're wondering what to do, and then your letter arrives.
Yep.
Timing.
Timing, yeah. Also relationship building. Mm. So, if you send them a series of stuff that they find useful and interesting and entertaining, then who are they going to think of when it comes time to buy?
For sure.
Whatever it is that you sell, it's going to be you. You put the work in and it will pay off. I guarantee you that. And B, very few people, what they don't do, I did A a minute ago, is a shock and awe campaign.
Okay.
Shock and awe.
Shock and awe.
Pow, 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 pow. So,
right. Do we have to invade small oil-rich countries for that?
No.
No.
I would rather we didn't do that.
Okay.
Oil is dying. We need to be looking at renewables. Possibly fusion.
So, invade somewhere like windy.
No. You need to make an impact.
Okay.
So shock and awe. So we've talked a little bit about stuff that you can put into your direct mail letters and whatnot to make it more interesting. You could put so it's about getting attention, really. So before we talk about shock and awe, let's talk about how to get attention. Enclosing something small. I do that with Lego men sometimes. Tea bags and whatnot, like Jane did. How about 10p for the coffee machine if you're sending to a B2B, or it's probably more like £1 these days, isn't it? Mm. But stick a pound notes. The thing is, if you're in America, you've got it easy because you have dollar bills.
Sure.
And you can just tape a dollar, or paperclip a dollar bill to the top of a letter, which is quite a cool thing to do, especially if you can get a nice crisp new one. Mm-hmm. We don't have pound notes anymore, and I'm not sending £5 notes to people. Although the new £5 notes are quite cool.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends who you're targeting. I mean, if you've kind of gone, I want to target all of the high-end estate agents in this town, you might go, well, there's 20 of them. You might know exactly who they are. You might have researched them. You know exactly who they are, what they're interested in, what you're going to sell them. And if there's only 20 of them, you can go to town. You can go wild with it. You can say, well, I've got a few £100 budget. Go nuts.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna,
but the thing to consider there before you go on, the thing to consider there is how much is one of those clients worth to you.
Absolutely.
Because if one client is worth several £1,000s to you, then it's a no-brainer to spend a few £100 on them.
Yeah.
So,
but if you're going to target every employed male between the age of 18 and 60 in the UK,
that's a stupid thing to do for a start.
Don't do that. and they don't send them a £5 each.
No, if you're thinking of sending direct mail to every employed male aged between 18 and 60, you desperately need to join my inner circle and buy the back issues of the series of direct mail that I've just done, because that's just the worst idea in the world.
Yeah,
it's way too broad. So yeah, you can send people stuff, but. And there's,
but work out the value. Work out the value of the customer. Work out what your budget looks like.
Yeah.
And then spend it wisely.
Yeah, work out your budget based on what a customer is worth to you, basically. So how many you want to win and how much money they're going to bring you if you do win them. And then when you've done that, you can pretty much do anything you want. I mean, there is no limit other than your imagination as to what you can send people. There are a few things that I would advise you to be careful about sending. So chocolate melts, for example. I send chocolate. But if I was sending a book to somewhere in the Middle East or Central Africa, I would not put chocolate in there because, as my friend Ben found out when he sent a chocolate bar to somebody in Qatar, Cat opened it up and it was a big gooey book.
Nice.
So just beware that chocolate melts. If it's actually, my chocolate's very, very well wrapped. So I haven't had anyone tell me that it's melted so far, but just be aware of that. Food is always a bit iffy. Biscuits break. Nuts can kill people.
Don't kill people.
Yeah, don't kill people. Anything perishable is a no-no.
Anything with pressurised gas or any of that sort of stuff. There's probably all kinds of rules and things you can't put through the post.
And just use a bit of common sense as well. So if it's likely to get bashed and broken, then probably don't do it. But tea bags and that kind of thing. Coffee. I don't
know. Can you just send food anywhere? There's some rules about where you can send food. You probably can't go international with food very often.
Yeah, do your due diligence here. I'm just throwing ideas out there. Check what you can send to various countries before you send it, because I ain't accepting no responsibility for any trouble that you get into.
Yeah.
Due diligence, people. But yeah. So there's all kinds of things that you can send, and there's all kinds of non-perishable stuff you can send as well. Don't send sharp objects. It's probably a good thing to add. So why does it work? Why does sending lumpy stuff through the post work, Joe?
Kind of forces people to be a bit more interested in your mail than any other mail.
It does, yeah. It's just different.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's attention grabbing. Sometimes funny. Sometimes useful. If you can send people useful things or things that their kids will like, that they will take home and give to their children, they will get kept. If you can send stuff that gets kept rather than cheap crap, always do that. So I would always recommend spending a little bit more on something that is likely to be interesting or useful or kept than saving money sending something really, really crappy that'll just get chucked away.
Yeah.
It's like, I get so many crappy cheap pens through the post.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the sign, isn't it? I mean, if you can't afford to send something worthwhile, then your targeting is too broad.
Yeah. Or don't send anything at all. Make your letter, do something else with it that will be noticed. There's a million things you can do, and if you want more ideas, then you should join my inner circle and
borrow your brain.
Or borrow my brain, yeah. Borrow my brain is probably a good one. businessforsuperheroes.com/borrow my brain. Anyway, but you can go all out. You can go all out with this stuff, and that's what I'm talking about with shock and awe campaigns. You can go crazy with it. So one of my favourite stories is to tell is of a copywriter that I know, and he wanted to work very specifically with a very specific CEO of a company. And so he sent them a canoe paddle, he packaged it up and FedExed it to him, and on it was a tag that said, "Are you up shit creek?"
Cool.
He absolutely got a meeting with him, and then he got the work. Because, So
that's worth a canoe paddle in the post?
It's worth a canoe paddle in the post. That probably cost him £100. Yeah. Maybe a bit more. But that was a very good client for a long time for him, so it was worth thousands and thousands. Tens of thousands. So that's the kind of thing you can do. What else could you do that might be a little bit less in your face than... And, this stuff requires some, balls as well, or ovaries if you're a woman. You don't be afraid to what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to go, fuck no. And then you're no worse off. But if you really want to get noticed by people, I know somebody... Do
something noticeable.
Yeah. Ollie Luke, who I've interviewed before.
Hey, Ollie.
Hi, Ollie. He once sent a box with holes poked in it and caution live animal, and he obviously did not send a live animal through the post. I can't even remember what he put in the box now. I think it was like a rugby ball or something. But that kind of thing will most definitely get you noticed. You have to pick your audience carefully for this kind of thing as well. So, it's all about doing your homework.
No hand grenades.
No hand grenades. And no funny jokes with fake bombs either, for fuck's sake. Don't think this stuff through. But this is where, really doing your homework as to who you're sending stuff to comes in useful. And again, that was part one of my Business for Superheroes Inner Circle direct mail series. So, you can, it's well worth the joining fee, many times over the joining fee and the back issue cost. So, I'm just putting it out there. What else could you do? Okay, you could send a telegram, old school styley.
Do they still do this?
You can still send telegrams, yeah.
Cool.
Or you could send a singing telegram.
Yes.
Which is an idea from...
Barbershop quartet or something. That'd be nice.
Barbershop quartet or an a cappella group. Yeah, that'd be cool. Or a strippogram. Probably not.
Probably not.
But a gorillagram would be funny. Do they still do it? What is a gorillagram?
It's where somebody dresses up as a gorilla and then,
shouts at you.
Yeah, rampages around your office and steals the secretary or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Right, okay. Don't send a gorillagram.
Don't.
That will probably alarm people. Or you could, if you're sending a letter, this is another idea from my friend James, who I'm interviewing in a couple of weeks for this very podcast.
I get the week off.
You will get a week off. You could trail the letter with a billboard. So if you're sending a letter to a specific set of people in a specific place, buy some billboard space and put an ad up there. Get their attention, tell them something's coming.
Yeah.
You can do loads of really fun things with that. It's kind of guerrilla marketing sort of stuff, which I will do a whole series on at some point. Guerrilla marketing. What else can you do? You could send a letter by courier, which is exactly what I did when I got my regular column with the Hereford Times, which is our local paper.
Mm-hmm.
And then I bugged the hell out of them until they said yes.
Just kept asking until they went, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Then.
But I said, this is probably a good idea, a good example of a shock and awe thing. I put into a coloured envelope a copy of my book, a letter, I didn't have the Lego Man then, did I? A pair of superhero socks with a cape.
Superhero socks.
Bar of chocolate. And I sent it by courier, so I know exactly when it was going to arrive. And then I phoned them up the day after and was told that the dude was on holiday. So my whole plan failed. I was really pissed off. But I basically phoned the office every day for a week and a half until I got a hold of somebody who could help me. And eventually he just gave in and was like, oh my God, yes, you can do a column. So now I write a column every month in the Hereford Times.
Check it out.
I have no idea if it's doing me any good yet, but it's certainly not doing me any harm.
That's not difficult to do either.
It's not difficult to do. I've got so many words to repurpose. So that's what I did for that. You could send a mobile phone with your number pre-programmed into it. I know people who've done that.
Cool.
In fact, I've done that with a client of mine before. I sent as part of a long series of stuff.
But yeah, that's the other thing, isn't it? It's not just one thing. It's a series. A series of letters, and there might be things in with each of them, or some of them, or one of them, or whatever. But yeah, it is about the relationship. It's not about just fire one thing into a mailbox and hope it works.
And you can work up to this stuff. So, I would only do this stuff, the shock and awe stuff, with the very high value clients, people that you've got a pretty good chance of winning, because otherwise you are going to burn through your money incredibly quickly.
Yes.
So, and it'll be at the end of a series where, you've already sent some stuff that might have started with a letter, an article, a magazine, a postcard, or, there's a billion things that you can do. There's a few things that I would recommend that you don't send high-value stuff. I would be very wary of USB sticks, because very few organisations are going to let someone plug something in that could unleash Skynet on them.
Sure.
So don't send anything that you need to plug into a computer, because they ain't going to like it. But you could send...
Unless you're targeting idiots.
Well, if you inadvertently send them a virus, though, that's hardly going to endear you to them, unless your whole business is clearing viruses from people's computer. That would be evil.
That would be.
Do not use your powers to do things like that, people.
Yeah, if you happen to be a white hat,
yeah.
do not do your marketing via black hattery.
No, I bet people actually do stuff like that, though.
Oh yeah, create a need by harming.
Yeah, do not do that. And if there's anybody considering doing something like that, stop listening to my stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but you could send an MP3 player or something with a personal message recorded on it.
Yeah.
I know people who have sent Kindles with a preloaded PDF on it. that they've wanted them to read, like an ebook. I could send, if I really wanted to go all out, I could send a copy of my book on a Kindle.
To somebody specific.
Yeah. Which, I'm probably not going to do in the near future, but it's a good idea. So yeah, there you go, really. That's my shock and awe. It's well worth doing.
So you got to calculate, you got to find out who you're actually going to target.
Yeah.
You need to be clear and specific about that.
Yeah.
Narrow it down.
Yeah.
Decide what the customers are worth to you. Come up with a sequence of things.
Yeah.
Follow through. Be different. Spend your money.
Yeah. And I have 4 newsletters and a teleclass coming up in the Inner Circle that walks you through how to do all of this stuff.
Cool.
So, and if anybody joins and then tells me that they've joined particularly because they want this series, I will give you a very, very generous deal on the back issues, which are normally 47 quid each.
Sweet.
So if you want the back issues, I will do you
a deal.
A really sweet deal for the whole lot if you join specifically because of this.
Okay.
So yeah, and you can join, by the way, at businessforsuperheroes.com/inner circle.
It used to be inner-circle.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ben has sorted all of those ridiculous hyphens out for me.
Hi, Ben.
Hi, Ben. So, yeah. Anyway, next week. What are we doing next week? Joe's got the week off.
Next week.
I am interviewing Rob Drummond, whom I met at a psychotactics workshop a year ago.
Okay.
He is a Hi, Rob. He is a he's also in my Inner Circle.
Is he?
Yeah. He's also a CRM expert.
Nice.
And so I'm kind of in awe of him because he knows how all of the back end of it works, whereas I just want it to do the things that I want it to do.
What's a CRM?
Customer Relationship Management System.
Okay.
It's like Entreport. Entreport is a CRM.
Okay.
And I use Entreport.
Yeah, we've had a go at using Zoho, but it's basically like trying to teach a room full of cats to, I don't know, design space shuttles or something.
You should talk to Rob.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll put you in touch. So yeah, Rob has answered all my noob questions and explains the basics of CRM systems, what to look for, all the rest of it. So we're going to be doing that next week. And then Joe will be back the week after.
I'm going to have a great time. Might go to the pub.
Pub's not open on a Monday. So yeah, we're done for this evening. Go shock and awe all of your potential clients. Earn some money. Be good. If you can't be good, don't get caught. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.
Like what you've just heard? Tell your colleagues, tell your friends, send them to www.businessforsuperheroes.com/podcast.